Do you still have your Nintendo? Have you ever tried to play a game, and no matter how hard you try, you just can't get the game to work? It probably needs to be cleaned. Today on How Do I, we will show you how to clean your old game cartridges inside and out. Plus, we'll show you everything you will need to do it. I guarantee you, it's going to be awesome. So stand by. The Humanities Mass Communications Department at Norwalk Community College presents How Do I? The instructional series that shows you how to do some really cool stuff. And now join your host, Marcus DiNucci.
Retro video games are all the rage right now. There are stores in just about every major city, and it's not uncommon to find a Nintendo or Sega Genesis at a tag sale for a few bucks. If you've ever bought an older game, you know they're not always in the best of shape. Sometimes the games are so dirty they won't even play, and all that dirt and grime gets transferred to the system and dirties the next game you play, even if it's already clean. That's why it's important to clean your games. Today, we will break down the entire process. You will learn first, what materials are needed, how to open and inspect the cartridge, how to clean the inside of the cartridge, how to clean the outside of the cartridge, and how to clean the chip. Now, let's get started by taking a look at our materials.
First up, you'll need some cotton swabs, preferably brand Q-tip. Go with the brand name because it does matter. These are your workhorse, and make sure you have a lot of them because you're going to need them. You're going to need a toothbrush, just a regular plain old toothbrush, nothing fancy. This will be fantastic for getting out all those really tough spots that a Q-tip just can't get, and it's great for getting in the cracks. Just make sure you don't put it back in the bathroom and accidentally brush your teeth with it. It'll be nasty. Next up, security bits. These come in two different sizes and attach straight into an open-ended screwdriver. They have a hex on one side, and the two different sizes will allow you to open up different types of cartridges as well as systems, making these very versatile. Connect it to your screwdriver, and now you can open up just about any cartridge you need. You're going to need some rubbing alcohol. This is your primary cleaning solution, so make sure you get a large bottle. Stick with a higher proof. 91% is perfect. It will dry faster because it contains less water than 70% alcohol. If alcohol doesn't do the trick, you can take it to the next step with blue Windex. That's right, your standard Windex. Just don't drink it. That's a bad idea. Spray it onto some other object like a toothbrush, then brush it on, and you're good to go. Next up, Goo Gone. This is fantastic for removing any sort of sticker residue, but you have to be extremely careful because it will remove your labels. Never apply it directly to the cartridge, only to a rag or paper towel first. You may find yourself needing Brasso or some similar brass cleaner. This is great for cleaning the contacts of your game chip if they're corroded or especially dirty. Take a Q-tip, apply a bit, rub it on, wipe it off. Good to go. Another great item, toothpicks. Just standard, plain old wooden toothpicks, especially something with a pointy edge on it. These are great for detailing your cartridge, especially if you have something that has a lot of cracks and grooves in it. Get all the grime out. For stickers and grime that are really tough, you'll need a razor blade. Now this is going to be something you won't be slicing with. Not at all. Instead, use gentle forward motions to scrape from underneath. One more thing for those tough stains is a magic eraser. Make sure you wet it first and use gentle scrubbing motions. This will get rid of most marks, including pen. It is great to have. And finally, we need a game. Here's the NES classic Rygar. And this one apparently has been abused. Thanks, James Leonard. There's a sticker on the back and on the top, probably from Blockbuster Video. They use stickers for security measures. Anyway, our work is cut out for us. We have to clean the chip. It's very grimy. Get those security stickers off. This is going to be tough, but we can handle it.
Well, we have all of our materials. Now it's time to crack this thing open. Let's learn about opening and inspecting the cartridge.
Flip your game over. Note the screw holes here, here, and here. Use the security bit to unscrew all 3 screws and keep them aside in a safe place. Don't lose them. Now we can open the shell. Lift from the chip towards the back of the cartridge, take out the chip itself, inspect the pins, see how dirty they are. Remember that for later. Then take a look at the shell itself. The inside is going to be grimy where the chip was, so check that spot, as well as another deeper inspection of all the other locations, inside and out.
We've got our game open, so it's time to get down to business. Get your toothbrush and Q-tips ready. It's time to clean the inside.
Take your toothbrush, dip it in some rubbing alcohol, and start scrubbing. You want to work your way from the inside of the case first. Pay special attention to the cracks. If something is extra grimy, go a little harder with the toothbrush. Don't be afraid to scrub. Move on to the Q-tip to really detail those fine points that you can't get with a toothbrush. You'd be surprised the junk that comes off of these. It's worth it to take the time to detail every nook and cranny of the cartridge, particularly the outside lip. There's a lot of junk that gets in there. We'll focus more on the outside of the cartridge in a bit, but in the meantime, make sure you get the other half. Same process as before. Toothbrush, Q-tip, all those hard to reach places, especially where the chip itself sits. That's a doozy.
The inside is all done, but the outside is still really nasty. This is the tricky part, so we want to be extra careful with the labels. Let's take our time as we clean the outside.
Cleaning the outside of the cartridge is going to take a lot more time and patience, but the process is essentially the same. Use your toothbrush to scrub as many of the visible parts as possible, but be careful to stay away from any labels on the cartridge, front and back. If you get them wet, they can become damaged. Now grab your Q-tips and your toothpicks and let's get into the details here. Make sure you clean every single crack and crevice. Dirt loves to hide in these places, and these are the best tools to get it out. The back of the cartridge is in rough shape. It has marker and sticker residue. We're still going to start with our toothbrush and some rubbing alcohol, and surprisingly the marker comes right out. We're very lucky. Make sure you wipe away the marker residue that pulls up and wipe away from the label. Any marker that gets on the label can stain permanently, so we want to be extra careful. Once all the marker is done, let's go at it with the toothbrush, avoiding the label. For the detail work, it's Q-tips and toothpicks, just as before. But that sticker residue on the back, that's going to be a problem. We'll need the Goo Gone for that. Grab a paper towel and pour some Goo Gone onto it, then rub it gently into the cartridge. Now if the paper towel isn't doing the trick, you can grab your razor blade. Make sure you go in sliding motions, not slicing motions. Clean off the rest of the cartridge, try to get that gunk off on the top there. Use the razor for that if you have to. With a little love and care, a little extra Goo Gone, and a little bit of razor work, we can get that security sticker off once and for all. Perfect. Now grab a damp magic eraser and go over all the tough spots you weren't able to get. This is your final touch, and this will make the cartridge look brand new. Perfect. Now do your happy dance.
Well, we're almost done, everyone. One more thing to clean, and that's the game itself. Grab the chip and some Q-tips, and let's get cleaning.
You see this? Don't do that. Instead, set the chip down gently. Grab your Q-tips. You're going to need a few. Probably all of them. Notice the brass contacts here at the bottom. Let's take a closer look. I told you not to do that. These brass contacts here are the only parts we're going to clean. We're only going to use a Q-tip for it. Grab your rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip and get to scrubbing, focusing on the brass parts. Try not to get anything on the green. If you do, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Make sure you get both sides of the chip. If it's especially dirty, grab the Brasso, shake it up, and apply to your Q-tip. You only need a little dab. Rub it into the chip gently with one side of the Q-tip, and then use the dry side to wipe it off. You'll start to see it sparkle in no time. And look at all that crap. Ew. Let's do the other side of the chip, same process, just a dab of Brasso. Rub it in gently, then grab a dry Q-tip and wipe it off. You're all done with the Brasso. We're going to grab the rubbing alcohol one more time just to remove any excess Brasso that might still be on the chip. Again, same process as before. Apply with a Q-tip, rub it in vigorously, dry it off. There you go. Look how pretty that is. She's beautiful. Now it's time to put everything back together. Take your clean game shells, place the chip in the top. It's only going to fit one way, so don't try to force it if it doesn't fit. Try a different direction. Pay attention to the tabs from earlier, slot them in, close it up. Now let's put our screws back in. Place each screw gently into the hole. Try not to drop them and lose them like I just did. There we go. And gently screw them in. You have to be careful not to go too tight. It's very easy to strip the cartridge. We don't want to do that. Once you're done, you're all set.
Well, now you know how to clean a Nintendo cartridge. But guess what? These same steps work on Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and even Game Boy games. Now you can clean almost anything and that you might find. That does it for today's edition of How Do I? Tune in next time, you might just learn something.
This has been How Do I? With your host, Marcus DiNucci. Directed by Drew Koscelek. How Do I is a Norwalk Community College student production.